Welcome to the Creative Brew, helping you keep your creative juices brewing. We're giving out chunks of insight, motivation, and practicality for your creative journey. My next partner is Elevate Coffee Trading, and if you appreciate specialty coffee, enjoy outdoor adventure, and love helping elevate the lives of children around the world, then you're going to love Elevate Coffee Trading. Their mission is to extract hope through love, coffee, and adventures. There's free shipping in the United States, and every bag of coffee helps sponsor health and education for children in coffee-producing countries and in areas of need in the United States. You can use promo code Elevate21 on your next order, and you can follow their journey on social media at Elevate Coffee Trading. Or you can visit online at elevatecoffeetrading.com, and let's start extracting hope together. And this episode is brought to you by Baba Coffee, smuggling good vibes. Baba roasts their coffee beans each week and only offers the freshest coffee. They have espressos, lattes, cappuccinos, pour over, or drip coffee. You can try their cold brew coffee, nitro cold brew, or bulletproof coffee, and boba milk teas. They also have a wide assortment of delicious food. I would suggest you try the avocado toast, mimosas, wine, or beer. On the weekends, you can check out some great music like the Soto Six and food like Eliza the Shelf and others over the weekend, every Friday and Saturday, beginning at 6 p.m. You can check out everything they got going on Facebook and Instagram at Baba Coffee. Hey, and we're back with a new episode. Today, we're talking about ways of leveraging your art. I'm going to give you 3 tips and things that sort of help me out. Perhaps as a creator, maybe these are things that you've done, or maybe you're dabbling in it. Maybe you're trying to figure out ways of getting into that. Or maybe you're just, you're sort of stuck. Maybe you're just selling having those direct sales. Maybe you're selling your original art at vendor events or conventions, and you're trying to figure out ways of like, how do I spread out everything that I've created, or maybe trying to package it up into different ways. So I'm going to give you some tips, some things that I've done specifically with through Langford Design and the umbrella company, the Langford Studio, and and like I said, this is you're always experimenting, you're always practicing. There's no try to true way of doing things, but it might be some things that may work for you, may work for your creative ecosystem, and so this is what I'm going to give you. So I'm going to give you these 3 tips. First of all, just straight up direct sales. That can be online platforms. That could be galleries, exhibits, conventions. Everyone's done that. Everyone's did that. Done that one-on-one transaction. Maybe you're doing commissions and you're selling those. Everyone's done that. So that's right off the bat. That's going to be direct sales, how to get in front of the customer, and maybe creating that relationship, and then getting that transaction. So what we're going to do here, that's going to be the first way. So now we're going to get a little bit more into other ways. The second way is my personal favorite, and things, and maybe I would consider you getting into, is more licensing. So you're not selling your original artwork, or perhaps you are selling, maybe you're selling some artwork, or maybe selling a print of your original artwork, or using your artwork towards specific merchandise products, clothing, home goods, any of those things. So you're not necessarily selling the original art, but the manufacturers are pretty much trying to maybe create or they're buying they're licensing out your artwork to them to use on their products. So figuring out ways of figuring out ways of getting in front of those manufacturers or those decision makers. People love your artwork, and they feel like, hey, this would be a cool idea to put on a dress or put on a t-shirt. Any of that is licensing. Generally, what I do is I do a flat fee for the actual design, and then after that, I add on a percentage as far as licensing, and that could be across net sales, or that could be $5 or a couple of dollars of each sale. That doesn't seem like much, but it can add up in the long haul. So this is something. This is definitely an avenue that you would consider because it's not going to be a quick upfront thing, but it can definitely bring in residual revenue through the longevity and clients, manufacturers, they can keep reusing that artwork. So you can create that piece of art, that design, that character design, and use that for however many years. And obviously, they generally come back for maybe fresh ideals or things like that. But that's a way of creating some evergreen content, evergreen designs that could be used for years, and that could bring in residual income for you. So it's not a quick big project type thing, as opposed to just straight up like with me with clients, client services. But it's something to where perhaps you can give them a maybe some kind of discount on the design, and then say, hey, you know what, on the back end, I want X amount for the licensing. That could work. That's something that I would definitely suggest and play around with. Sometimes you can get connected with the right people, and make something that could be a really cool deal, partnership for everyone involved. So consider, hey, you don't necessarily have to sell that original artwork, but let's see if we can find ways of getting it in front of the right people, right in front, and maybe in front of the right decision maker, and then find ways of leveraging that artwork across multiple products and channels. And that's something that can create um, residual income for you. And like I said, and this is where it gets pretty cool because you can license a maybe one of your collections. Maybe you have two or three pieces of a collection. And you say, you know what, I want to license this specifically for home goods. You can do that. Or if you have another collection, you can license it specifically towards women's clothing or pocketbooks or stationery. The ideals are endless on this, and that goes for illustrators. That goes for even people creating logo designs and identities. If you pitch this the right way, I mean, it could be really really lucrative for you. So that's something I would definitely encourage. So that is the second way. Third way, find a patron. So what I mean by that, and this was sort of going back to the maybe the old ways of doing things. If you go back to even like Michelangelo and all the master painters and creators, they generally had a patron. They weren't doing the selling. You generally had a patron that would come and they would commission a specific piece, which people do now. They still do that now, but it might be finding that right patron. It might be getting in touch with the right person that can commission, different projects for you. And that could be really great for you. I know personally, even with me, I have, I have a couple of patrons that, it's almost like word of mouth. They'll go out, maybe they're traveling and hey, if someone needs design services or need a illustration done or logo design or any of these things, generally they share they talk about my business and about what I've done for them, and generally that comes back to recurring projects and work and perhaps new clients. So maybe for you, maybe you have those one or two patrons. They don't have to be some kind of rich benefactor, but it can be someone that's going to vouch for you, that's going to vouch for your work, and maybe they're just out roaming around and they connect with people. They connect with a lot of people, depending on what they're doing. And generally, you have people that ask questions like, "Hey, I need a mural artist, or I need someone that can, create this design for this, for this organization, or it can be anything, illustration, or I need a book cover, or I need a book cover illustrator, or anything, anything you could think of. If you can have people that's going to be out there vouching for you, and like I said, that could be an art agent, it could be an art liaison, all these things. If you find that patron, then that's going to help you to. I think that converts to new clients and new work, new commissions. Um, so you probably got one. You probably got one or two hanging around in your circle right now, and your job is to sort of figure out who that patron is, who those people that's just, they're like one of those social butterflies. They love going out. They're always talking and chatting with people. That might be your patron. That might be the one that can vouch for your work and connect you to the right people. I know there's also crowdfunding sites right now. I mean, you got Patreon. They're not sponsors or anything, but you got Indiegogo and Kickstarter, and people are looking to rally around specific projects and creators that they love. So if you can, create the right product, or maybe you have a cool idea for a book or a graphic novel, or comic book, or movie, anything, people are crowdfunding all these projects to build out. So there's really, I mean, with technology, I mean, there's really no excuse now. I mean, it depends on how much work you want to put into it, how patient you are, and being consistent, if you're passionate about it. So um, those are some of the three ways that I know personally for me, it's helped me out with my business, with my, creative practice, and that's something that I would urge for you to do. Maybe you can figure out ways of spreading all that out, so you don't necessarily have to rely on just a direct sale. It might be something I know even with me, I have I'm part of a co-branded partnership with a wrestling related card game, and I get percentages. I have a percentage ownership in that, so I get a percentage of sales that come back to me, and like I said, sometimes it can be small, but all that stuff adds up. It could be collaboration deals and other partnerships within that brand, and I get a percentage from that. So those are things to sort of think about. Like, you're not only just creating, but how do we leverage out to where we're not putting so much time and energy into just like, hey, we got to create all these different things. You may have a collection. If you look in your sketchbooks and you look back, you probably got things right now hanging around that's not being used for anything. Figure out ways of like creating a product around it, create a digital product around it. Maybe teach art lessons around that specific style, or maybe something that you love to create. Create a art lesson around it, sell it. Maybe record yourself doing that and put that out there. The ideals are endless. Maybe you love consulting. I mean, you can advise clients on different art selections, collections, interior design. I know sometimes I do consulting with design and branding. Anything that you can think of, you probably already have something you can do right now that's leveraged around your specific style, your your artwork. You're probably sitting on a lot of money right now, if you think about it. So sometimes what happens is we sell that original piece and then it's gone. So find ways of like, hey, it like I said, if you do sell it, that I'm not saying that's good or bad. But it might be other ways of like, hey, let's keep the original art, but then let's leverage this out. Let's spread this out into posters, prints, stickers. Let's find ways of maybe partnering up with other brands that perhaps you love creating. I'll give you an example. Perhaps you love creating mermaids or something like that. Find ways of like connecting to other organizations or other people that's wrapped around the things that you love creating, and then find ways of just, hey, maybe you want to license out that artwork for something, or for a poster, or license out the artwork for a line of merchandise. When you start playing around with those ideals, man, I'm telling you, the ideals are endless. Maybe creating some coloring books from your artwork and creating that and putting that out. There's all kinds of things to think about. Maybe creating an event around specifically around the thing that you love making. Find ways of creating an event. Maybe you partner up with a coffee shop, or partnering up with a restaurant, and maybe doing some kind of collab experience. So that's another ideal too. So that's what I got. 3 ways of leveraging your art: direct sales, number one; licensing; and then find a patron. Obviously, we got some other ones, and then let me know, what's been a good way for you of leveraging your creation, your content creation, your art, your writings, music. What's been a good way for you? So Let me know in the perhaps in the comments, and like I said, keep creating. Find ways of not only creating, but find ways of positioning yourself in a manner to where you can create one thing and then leverage it out across multiple channels. So that might be the homework for you. Like maybe find something in your sketchbook and say, you know what, this would be a cool idea for a coffee mug, or a cool idea for maybe for another brand, or maybe for a beer can label. Just think about any kind of idea, and then find ways of maybe connecting with those businesses and say, hey, look, you know what, I got an ideal, maybe a collaborative experience or some kind of ideal that might be a win-win for all of us. Would you be open to connecting with me to pitch the ideal? So you just never know. Yeah, like I said, you might be sitting on a really good ideal right now in your sketchbooks. So I would break them up, break out the sketchbooks, see what's in there. Maybe you've got some collections that sort of maybe collecting dust. Let's figure out ways of marketing it, maybe positioning it towards other channels, and hey, see what comes from it. So that's what I got today. Like I said, keep creating. Thank you for my listeners. Thank you for listening to this show. And let me know, what are some other ways that you're leveraging your artwork. So also too, quick announcement. If you want to get my art books, I don't have too many of them left. Worlds Within Worlds Art Volume 1. Just a quick little collection of a lot of my concept art, character designs, and things that I do plan on publishing, and just the inspiration behind it. So it might be something, a cool little thing for maybe your aspiring creators that's looking to be inspired, and maybe something to look forward to, or maybe to aspire towards. Who knows? Or maybe just looking for some different ideals. That book is available online on my website at langforddesign.com. Or if you're here in Oceanside, it's available at the Oceanside Comic Book Shop, at Studio Ace Artshop, and at Mystic Ritual. That's all in Oceanside. So if you're interested in getting a book, let me know. Also, too, I am coming back to my hometown in Cleveland, Tennessee on July 17th, and I'll be hosting an event. It'll be a brush and brew event, free event. Everyone in the area is welcome to come in, hang out, chat, draw, paint, sketch, talk about comics, talk about movies, whatever you want to. And also, too, I'll be recording a special episode of the Creative Brew there. So it should be a cool little experience. I'll put in the show notes if you're in the area. I need for you to RSVP. Let me know who's coming, and but I'll put that in the show notes, and that'll be on July 17th. That'll be from 1 till 3 o'clock. So I'll have a local anime-based coffee shop that's going to be providing some drinks, and then I'm getting some little treats and all kinds of other stuff. So it'll be a cool experience. Great way of networking, connecting with the creative community there in my hometown, and making new friends. So that's what I got today. So once again, find ways of leveraging your artwork, direct sales, licensing. Find a patron. Find someone that's going to vouch for you. That's what I got today. Be creative. Stay inspired.
All I know is hard work, really nothing else. I was start smoking weed, yo, cause nothing helps. Called the homie up, told him loot the sample up. We gotta come together now, cause I had enough. The time is now, there'll never be another one. It's a SOUNDCLOUD.